Good morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa with fast-moving Alberta Clipper coming across the area right at the heart of the evening commute in eastern Michigan. I'm going to talk about that, so let's get into it here. And of course, if you have any travel questions, I'll try to answer those as best I can. So here we go. All right, first off, the advisories and warnings show you really nicely where the heaviest snow and probably the worst driving conditions in the afternoon will be. Hey, good morning, Shala, and good morning, Kyle Matson, a fellow MLiver. So the pink is where a winter storm warning is in effect. That basically encompasses Manistee, Ludington, Grand Rapids, through the Saginaw area, Flint, down to Ann Arbor, and into Detroit. And that's about the trajectory of the snow from northwest to southeast, almost a classic Alberta Clipper type deal. Okay, surrounding it, winter weather advisories for a little bit less snow. Mary Martinez, how's my drive from Indianapolis? I'm leaving at 11 o'clock this morning. Well, the snow's going to start in the late morning, early afternoon, slow at first, and then pick up in the second half. So I don't know how long it takes you to get home from Indianapolis. Good morning from Jackson Township. What's the heads up for the Southfield area? My son is traveling from Livonia to Southfield this morning. This morning is actually going to be pretty good. The light snow will start to pick up late. I'm going to say early afternoon, and then really pick up in the mid to late afternoon. So if you can get where you want to go this morning, you're not too bad. Jill, no, just tuned in. I'm getting to the totals here shortly. Okay. So hang with us for a moment here. And please do share this. And remember to join the weather group, the MLive weather group on Facebook. Washtenaw County. All right, and we'll get into that too. So here's current radar, and again, a classic textbook path northwest to southeast. So it's going to be a couple of hours before the snow gets going. Here is my favorite model in this kind of situation. And we're going to go through it, okay? This is 9 o'clock this morning, snowfall totals, okay? And that's my point, that this morning should be A-okay. 10 o'clock this morning. 11 o'clock, you're starting to get light amounts of snow, as in less than an inch in the, let's call it the western half of the state and around Grand Rapids. Yeah, Janesville, you're going to miss it, okay? Now, this is noon, and this is 1 o'clock. And you can basically use this line as the when it starts, okay? So you're talking, it starts lightly at 11 o'clock to noon to 1 o'clock in Saginaw, Bay City, the Thumb, Flint, and Detroit, and Ann Arbor. Okay, and then we'll go through. We're at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then this is where we expect it to get a little bit heavier. Okay, and I would call it a moderate snow with occasional heavy bursts in there. And when we talk about heavy snow, we talk about the visibility going down to a quarter mile. Okay, already snowing in Flint. Yeah, there are some little patches that will come through, last a half hour or so. Hey, good morning from Leelanau Peninsula. Now we're at 4 o'clock, and watch the numbers. And each hour then after that for the next 3 hours, it'll probably go up at every location by an inch. So we go from 2 to 3 in a lot of places, between 4 and 5, and from 3 to 4. Between 5 and 6. Toledo, you're going to be on the light side, probably an inch or so. 6 to 7. 7 to 8, 8 to 9, it's starting to slow down then. And I would essentially call it over with by midnight. And so I would call this the low end of the total snow. And here's the scoop on this. What you're seeing here is a snowfall ratio of 10 inches of snow to 1 inch of water. It gives a lot of spots 5 inches or so. This snow will probably be 15 inches of snow to 1 inch of water, maybe some fluffier flakes. You might add on an inch or two. So I would call this, what you're seeing, the low end, and add on 2 inches for the high end. So, hey, I got to go back. I saw a comment from my friend and neighbor Julie Rao. Starting to snow pretty decent here in Ravenna, I think is how you say it. Let's see. Katie wants to know about Whitehall, just north of Muskegon. Okay, now here we go with the complete numbers then. Okay, so Whitehall, you're probably looking at, I'm going to say it's still 5 inches around there. Okay, so let's call it a 5-inch snow through this swath here: Saginaw, Flint, Ann Arbor, Detroit, Lansing, north of Grand Rapids, up toward Benzie, Manistee counties. That's the low end again. Add 2 on for the high end. So we'll call it a 5 to 7 inch snow there. Then you've got a tier of 4 inches, Jackson, all the way down to the border, getting lower as you go toward the border. Let's call it a 3 to 5 inch snow in the far south. And the farther south you go, the more it's toward 3 inches. And then as you get Bay City, the tip of the thumb, north to Gladwin, north to Traverse City, call it a 3 to 5 inch snow, and again, probably on the lower end. Caseville and Bad Axe, I would say it's probably 3 inch snow there. Kimmy Kirk, Flint, I'd call it a 5 inch snow, maybe 6, slight possibility of 7. Need to get to church rehearsal in Brighton at 6:30, 8:30. You should expect about the heaviest snow right at that time. For once, the South getting less. Well, some people would say the South hasn't been getting it and want it. Vermontville, you're probably, I would guess, 4, 5, maybe 6 inches also. Okay? So there you have it, folks. What about northern Michigan, says Jackie Marshall. I would say north of Traverse City, it tapers off quite a bit to 1 inch or 2 of snow. Battle Creek, you're at least 3, probably 4, maybe 5. Royal Oak, you're right in the heart of the heaviest band. You're 5 inches, maybe 6, slight chance of 7. Ionia, 5, maybe 6, maybe 4. Dearborn Airport area, that's right in the heart of the 5. Okay. Brown City, you're probably looking at, I would say it's going to be 4 inches, maybe 3, maybe 5. Leelanau County, you're kind of interesting there because you're probably 2 or 3 inches out of this storm, and then lake effect kicks in for about 6 hours tonight. So you could have 4, 5, 6 inches. Bay City, I would say Bay City is 4 inches, maybe 5, and you can kind of even see that this model that I like is trying to indicate on a northeast wind maybe a little enhancement and a 1/5 inch. So I'd call Bay City 4 or 5 inches. Byron probably 5 to 6 inches. Flint Graham length, worst between 5 and 8 p.m. Yes. And that's the whole deal here, is that it's a burst of snow right at the time when a lot of people will be driving in this area, and it will pretty much encompass all of I-96, I-69. What are the winds going to be like? Josh Campbell wants to know. Not bad. No, not 10 inches in GR. There's nothing like that, buddy, so don't start that rumor. The winds will be about 10 to 15 miles an hour, some gusts to 20 miles an hour. just after the peak of the snow, the winds die down quickly right after midnight. Now, the bad part of this is that it's a really lightweight snow, so it can blow easier at 20 miles an hour than a heavier weight snow. Someone asked about Muskegon. I think this might be a little light over in here on the model. It's kind of doing a couple of funny things there. So I would call it 4 or 5 inches in Muskegon. Jackson, I would say 3 to 5 in the Jackson area, and temperatures all over are going to be pretty consistent, about 20 degrees. Kalamazoo, no, sorry. 3 inches, maybe 4 inches, and on the low side, maybe 2. Elma, you're right in the heart of the heaviest, 5 inches, maybe up to 7. Marshall, 5 inches, maybe 6. Yeah, I know, people forget how to drive in the snow. Kalamazoo just went over that, about 3, 4 inches. Bay City, the same deal, about 4 to 5. Wind chill is going to be down in the single digits because the wind won't be that strong. Heaviest time, and this is probably the most important thing about this whole deal. It's not a big snowstorm for Michigan standards. A 5, 6, 7-inch snow done in 10 hours, no wind after that. It's pretty snow. The big deal is the heaviest kicks in about 4 o'clock in the eastern half of the state, really gets going 5, 6, 7. So if you can get out of the office 1 to 2 hours early, I would say you might make it home on just an inch or so of snow and be a-okay. Someone asked about changing plans heading to Traverse right now. Again, right now this morning, not bad. You're going to get a little bit of snow, maybe a coating on the roads as you head north and west. The main thing is later on this afternoon in the southern part of the state. Upper Peninsula, I haven't covered that yet. Not a whole lot for Upper Peninsula standards, about 1 to 3 inches. And there's Brenda, Blizzard to 78 survivor. Me too. Yes, that was a fun one, wasn't it? When we were kids, no school for a week or so, something like that. All right, I'm going to sign off, folks. I'll keep you updated. I have to tell you that the data is very stable, has not changed much, an inch up or down. So I think we're going to be pretty good on this one. And be careful this afternoon and get anything done that you can. This morning, my alternator died on my truck, so that's what I have on my agenda. My snowblower belt broke last year, so I've been procrastinating, so I've got that on the agenda. And I will be keeping you updated. Stay safe. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. You take care.